Hi, my name's Jeff Plant. I'm the event director for the Prospera Granfondo Axle Mercs. Join me for a short video on some information that's going to make your event weekend as good as it can possibly be. The activities for the Prospera Granfondo Axle Mercs start off at the Penticton Trade and Convention Centre on Friday, when package pickup opens at 1 o'clock and runs through till 7 p.m. The expo is going to be where you'll sign your waiver, pick up your race numbers, your event swag. There are a whole bunch of exhibitors there, and it's your opportunity to buy your Granfondo Axle Mercs event merchandise. When you come to the Penticton Trade and Convention Centre, one of the things you're going to have to do is sign the release of liability form. This form says that you understand the risks and hazards involved in cycling events, you accept those risks and hazards, and you waive certain legal rights with regard to claims against Axle Mercs events. When you register, you'll also be given a wristband. This wristband not only contains the all-important ticket for a tree beer after the ride, it gives you access to your free burger, and it has your bike number or your registration number to give you secure access to the post-ride bike parking lot. Your race packet contains your race number. This is a bike plate that's attached to the front of your bikes with 2 zap straps. The prefix on the bike plate is also your start zone allocation. That becomes important when you turn up at Gyro Park in the morning, because you will only be allowed access to your start zone as shown on your bike plate or to a slower start zone. There's a temptation with the start zone system to try to fudge the system and get into a faster group at the start of the race. All that does is it causes you the discomfort of riding too fast too early and making the last half of the ride tough. It's also disruptive to those other riders who do want to go faster. If you're unable to make it for package pickup on Friday or Saturday at the Penticton Trade and Convention Centre, you can change your registration status and sign up for our late registration option. This gives a limited number of participants the option to come to Gyro Park early on Sunday morning and pick up their race packets. Late package pickup in Gyro Park starts at 6 o'clock in the morning, so it's not the desirable option for either riders or the event organisers, but if you need it, it's there for you. Sunday morning downtown Penticton's pretty active. We have Main Street locked down for the event, and parking becomes a premium. The Penticton Trade and Convention Centre and South Okanagan Event Centre precinct is only 1 kilometre away from Gyro Park and offers a huge amount of free public parking. So we encourage you to park over at the event centre and ride your bike down to the start chute. Gyro Park is the venue of our Piccolo Fondo, and Saturday afternoon, children 3 to 12 years old get to race a closed circuit around Gyro Park. It's a super fun event, tons of fun for all family members to come down and see kids racing on closed courses. The Piccolo Fondo is well supported by some of our event sponsors, and all of the kids pick up a free medal for their participation. In the morning before the race, there are a couple of really important pieces to remember. Is your bike plate on your bike? Is your timing chip attached? Do you have your helmet? Have you applied sunscreen? Do you have 2 full bottles and some gels in the pockets of your jersey? We're trying to make Sunday morning in Gyro Park a low-stress experience for everybody. If you have a last-minute mechanical emergency, don't sweat it. We have the Bike Barn and VeloFix on site who can repair anything that you need looked after. As we roll out of the start chute, we have a short neutral zone which takes us through Lakeshore Drive onto Front Street. From the roundabout at the bottom of Vancouver Hill, it's game on and the neutral start ends. As you approach Vancouver Hill, just be careful not to get too excited and caught up in the excitement of riding with 2,600 of your closest friends. Try to keep it under control and realize that you only have so many matches, and you need to be careful where you burn them during the day. The faster you go earlier in the race, the tougher the last part is going to be. The first part of the ride is when we have the greatest density of riders, and on Vancouver Hill, some of you are going to stand to climb the hill. Just be aware that, as you stand, you need to accelerate a little bit so that your bike doesn't drop back and cause the rider behind you to ride into your back wheel. As you come off Vancouver Hill and you descend down Haven Hill towards Government Street, there's a very fast, twisty and technical descent. Be on the lookout for marshals who'll be wearing high-vis vests and waving caution flags down there. When you're riding in a large group, it's really important to be aware of your surroundings at all times. Ride in a smooth and predictable manner and have an escape route planned, so if it goes pear-shaped, you have somewhere to go. Just after you reach the top of the Peach Orchard Hill Climb, you're going to come across our very first aid station in Summerland, and that's going to be right on Jubilee Road. Our aid stations are located about every 20 kilometres throughout the course, so it's a great idea if you come to the start line with 2 full bottles and some gels in your pocket, and then you can refuel along the way. I'm out here at the corner of Happy Valley Road and Gartrell Road. Now this is a beautiful section of the course. It's where we descend out of the upper part of Summerland back down to Highway 97. Once you leave the aid station area in Summerland, you are on open road, so it's critical that you're really aware of the fact that you might have traffic coming in the opposing direction. Really critical that you obey the centerline rule and do not cross the centerline under any circumstance. The corner behind me is one of the first of a series of tricky parts of road. This corner is on a downhill, it's off camber, and it's on a tightening radius, so we will have traffic control here, but just be aware that as you come down Happy Valley Road, you do have to be quite cautious as you enter into this corner. As you descend from the intersection of Happy Valley and Gartrell, the road dips down quite steeply, and we encounter a series of sweeping bends. There's one quite fast 180-degree left-hand bend that requires some attention. Immediately below that, we have a section of road on Gartrell where the pavement has deteriorated quite badly. It's very rough for a short section and goes into a very tight right-hand bend where the radius tightens up. So again, if you don't want to end up in the rhubarb, it's really important that you're paying attention through this section. Okay, I'm standing out on Highway 97 in Summerland, and I just wanted to give you an idea of what we're going to be riding during the event. We're going to have the shoulder of the road and the slow lane northbound and southbound to ride in. We're going to be using these monsters. These cones are 28 inches tall and they weigh 10 pounds. So they're going to be on that dashed line separating the lane. It's really important that you don't hit these babies, because if you do, they're going to win. One of the things with riding in a pace line is your awareness of where you are relative to other riders, and it's one of the things that causes some incidents is what's known as half wheeling, and that's when you overlap your front wheel with the back wheel of the bike in front of you, which is a problem when the bike in front of you changes direction and takes your front wheel out. New for the Granfondo this year, riders will now turn left at South Main Street and rejoin Main Street northbound at the bottom of Dawson Avenue. To avoid conflicts with other riders, it's important that Granfondo riders move to the left of the pack on Main Street before the turn at Kinney Ave, which is next to Cherry Lane Mall. Mediofondo, Velocifondo and Granfondo riders continue straight down East Side Road. I'm standing here on East Side Road, just north of McLean Creek Road. Right now we're about 60 kilometres into the ride. We've just been through Penticton on closed roads on Main Street. Once you hit the city limit, you're on open road, so you will be riding both with and against traffic. So it's really important that you observe the center line and don't cross it at any time. Okay, so here I am. I'm coming up to the top of the steep part of McLean Creek Hill. It's only about 400 meters long, but keep something in the tank, because when you get to the top of the first little peak, there's a slight downhill and then you've got one more uphill to go. Okay, we're on McLean Creek Road, just coming into Okanagan Falls. This is quite a long descent, and at the start it's fairly straightforward, but as you come into the outskirts of town, there are a couple of bends that do tighten up on you, and there are some side streets that warrant your attention as we come into town. Really important, again, that you're aware that these are open roads and that you stay on your side of the road. Okay, we're at Christie Beach in Okanagan Falls. This is the third aid station. This is going to be common for the Mediofondo, Velocifondo and Granfondo. Immediately after this aid station, the Mediofondo is going to turn off and head back on Highway 97 to Penticton. The Granfondo will make a left on 8th Avenue and make their way out onto Oliver Ranch Road. We have 7 aid stations that are positioned around the Granfondo route, and they're well marked, and we have advanced signage that warn you when there's an aid station coming. So if your intention is to go into the aid station, we suggest that you move to the side, generally the right-hand side where the aid station exit is. And if you're going to move through, make your way to the left-hand side of the bunch so you can continue riding without any interruption. Okay, we're at the bottom of Oliver Ranch Road, right at the intersection of Highway 97. It's a spectacular piece of road, and just at the hill behind us is one of the most spectacular views of the Okanagan you'll ever see. McIntyre Bluff, Vassal Lake, it's fantastic. You're gonna come flying down this hill, and at the bottom of the hill is one of the biggest, or the biggest of the 7 cattle guards you're gonna encounter on the Granfondo route. This cattle guard is 20 feet wide, and we do provide cattle guard covers, so they're covered with plywood system, and it does ease the ride. There's still a bit of a bump getting onto them, but we want you to exercise caution as you go across the cattle guards. On your approach to the cattle guards, you're going to see some of our course signage. You're going to see caution signs, and you're going to see cattle guard signs that are going to be advising you to slow down. In addition, there will be marshals wearing high-vis vests and probably a whole bunch of people yelling at you to slow down to make sure you navigate this cattle guard safely. Once you're on Highway 97 heading south from McLean Creek Road, you're on the highway and it's open to traffic in both directions. And so we do ask that you stick to the shoulder of the road and, if at all possible, stay to the right of the fog line, please. Okay, we're on Highway 97 just north of Oliver at Tuckanuit Road. At this point, the Granfondo makes a left-hand turn onto Tuckanuit Road with the assistance of flaggers, so you don't have to stop. And the Veloci-Fondo is going to go straight ahead down to Seacrest Hill Road. We'll have marshals up the road and we'll have signage advising you that there's a split ahead. At this time, it'd be advisable for the Veloci-Fondo riders to move to the right-hand side of the pack and for the Granfondo riders to move left, getting ready for the turn. The Oliver Aid Station is now at the corner of Tuckanuit Road and Merlot Street, which will make it much easier to get in and out of. Okay, well, this is a brand new section of the route. This is the Veloci-Fondo, where the route turns off Highway 97 onto Seacrest Hill Road. This is a beautiful piece of road. Turns off Highway 97, you have about 500 meters of flat riding until you hit Horsetail Road, and then it kicks up fairly steeply for about 1 kilometer. You know you're through the twisty steep section when you see the Covert Farm sign at the top of the hill. As you approach the finish line, please be aware of raised intersections and narrow roadway as you approach the finish chute. Well, on behalf of Axel and all the crew at the Prospero Granfondo Axel Mercs, we hope you have a fabulous and, most importantly, safe Granfondo experience. And please, at any time throughout the weekend, if you have any questions, please look for one of our Granfondo staff, and we're here to help. So enjoy.